Let's catch this. Evolution has been staged. The big game. Here we are.
Here we are at where are we here?
Where are we?
We're in we're not Flow Studios. We're actually Flow Studios, the country.
Yeah, we're the country.
We're at the country office.
We're in the country office of Flow Studios.
Flow Studios. So we're actually putting together a storyboard.
Yes.
For what I was saying is a 40-minute, basically documentary. And it is meant to be able to go and provide people with an understanding of how we as a species, as human beings, got here. So I'm not suggesting we go back and, as Homo sapiens, from beginning of time, actually were, scratching together wood and to make fire and stay away from the big saber-toothed tigers and everything else. But the evolution, as we've seen it, has just been a story. And it's a story that's been written by those who conquered. So the interesting thing with history, and I'm not a history buff, but my wife is, and she always said, yeah, those who are not interested in history typically tend to actually repeat history. And we have a whole pile of people in the world that actually have been repeating history over and over and over and over again. And the idea is with history is once we can actually get a handle on something that happened and then document it, hopefully we actually don't repeat history, we learn from it. So that's reverse engineering. We actually go after the fact, we piece together, here's what that big war was all about, or here's what those hardship was, or this famine. Here's what we learned from it. But the people who actually put this together, there's two camps. Those are the ones who are on the side who actually all died for whatever reason. So they were the ones who lost. And there's the ones who, there's a few of them still living. Which ones actually do the documentation of evolution? The ones who are still living. So the bias in evolution and history is always this, it's actually written from the perspective of the people who actually won, the people who actually were dominant.
Right. And that belief, that has created a belief system that our past dictates our future. Like whatever is happening to us will dictate.
Right, because we're all living on this straight line,
right,
saying it's a linear line.
It's actually
history is indicated. It's a linear line. It's right, exactly the opposite. It's all over the place.
Our present moment gives meaning to our past.
Yeah, and so the idea is with documenting evolution, when we're talking about the big game is what if a higher aspect? I mean, there is this wonderful series of videos that you introduced me to. I don't know who actually puts those up.
Kurt Zach, I think it is.
Yeah, and so there's these animated videos that are really tightly put together, demonstrating different theories. So there's one on string theory. There's one on
simulation theory.
Yeah, simulation theory. This is just a simulation. We're just actually we're in a simulator like the Matrix, and professors actually put together a story to be able to go and explore. Maybe this is a new theory of how to be able to go and work at the nano level, and nanotechnology bumped out of that. So string theory helped with a number of different things that helped us understand cause and effect at the really, really, really small level below the atoms. And so it was a really fantastic opportunity to be able to look at the reality of what we are dealing with as a species. We've actually, over in just the last 300 years, we've assigned the responsibility to figure out how this whole thing works is now going to move from the church to science. And that little transition was actually a bit of a transition. Descartes actually decided, I'm not going to talk about unity theory way back when he was actually starting to put together, I think, therefore I am. He actually had to walk a line because he still had the church in there for a lot of years, and in fact he pissed off the church and said, no, God actually is just part of this whole unity consciousness thing, and we're all little gods, big gods, phenomenal, or however you want to put it. He thought that's not a good idea to put it that way, so he said, I'm not going to do that. He's going to put in place something that was based on duality, separateness. And that actually has fed philosophy, and then a philosophy of pretty much everything, and then the science base. So the framework and the foundation that is science is what now is dominant in our society. And science looks at everything through the lens of duality. And science is actually documenting evolution by staging it. they're staging it based on, okay, well, this is what it is that we figured out through the lens of duality. This is as far as we've got. We don't have any system that allows us to be able to go and get beyond this, because the framework is duality. If in fact you're underwater in an ocean, and that's all you've come to understand is water,